health and peace and happiness for everyone. Ashreinu, how good and beautiful is our heritage. Parashat Tzav, Tafshin Pei Bet. I had a dilemma about today's video. Should I do a Dvar Torah about Parashat Tzav and the relationship between the parasha and the haftarah, or maybe something about Purim? And then I remembered that very often we don't read on Parashat Tzav, we don't read the haftarah of Tzav, because Parashat Tzav is very often one of the 4 parshiot of the month of Adar and Nisan, or the Shabbat HaGadol. On those Shabbatot we read different haftarot and not the haftarah of the parasha. So I checked, and sure enough, next year we don't read on Parashat Tzav the haftarah of Tzav, and not the year after, and not the next time we read Parashat Tzav and the haftarah of Tzav is in, you ready? 21 years, in the year Taf Gimel. So let's dedicate this Dvar Torah this year to the relationship between Parashat Tzav and the haftarah, and Purim we'll have again next year. When are we going to have again the parasha and the haftarah in 21 years? Let's take the opportunity this year. So what is this relationship between the parasha and the haftarah? The parasha begins, the second pasuk is, Tzav et Aharon, pass on to Aharon the commandment about the korbanot. The second pasuk in the haftarah says, I did not command Bnei Israel when I took them out of Mitzrayim about korbanot. What does it mean? It's from the prophet Yirmiyahu. What does it mean, I did not command them about korbanot? We see in the parasha that Hashem did give commandments about korbanot. So we don't have time to discuss in length the possible interpretations of the pasuk. But the general idea is that Yirmiyahu is creating some kind of balance about the korbanot. Korbanot, or all mitzvot, are to bring us close to Hashem. But if the korbanot continues Yirmiyahu in his prophecy and rebukes the people very harshly, and has a very harsh prophecy about destruction, because there is moral corruption. Because you can't bring korbanot to Hashem, want to be close, karov to Hashem, and at the same time act in ways that are morally corrupt. And after this very harsh rebuke and prophecy of destruction, the haftarah skips from Perek Zayin and Chet to almost the end of Perek Tet, with almost the last 2 psukim of Perek Tet. I will quote them in English, and these psukim say the following. Thus says Hashem, let not the wise man boast of his wisdom, nor the strong man boast of his strength, nor the rich man boast of his riches. But let him that boasts exult in this, that he understands and knows me, for I am Hashem, who practices kindness, justice, and righteousness on the earth. For these are the things that I want, says Hashem. If you want to know Hashem, you have to act in Hashem's ways of kindness, justice, and righteousness. So the haftarah not only ends with these psukim to end with something positive, but to say that this is the proper way of worshiping Hashem, whether it's korbanot or other mitzvot ben adam lamakom. If you want to be close with Hashem, it doesn't mean just to perform actions of ben adam lamakom. It means to emulate Hashem and act in ways of kindness, justice, and righteousness. And if you bring korbanot, sacrifices, and you do not act in justice, kindness, and righteousness, then your korbanot are not reaching the point and lose their value. I'd like to say one more thing. Rambam, Rabbi Moshe ben Maimonides writes this tremendous philosophical book about emunah, Moreh Nevuchim, the guide of the perplexed. The Rambam is trying to help one clean his emunah in Hashem from all kinds of distortions that a person has in his mind about Hashem. And after this long, intricate, difficult philosophical book, mamash towards the end of Moreh Nevuchim, the Rambam brings this pasuk in Yirmiyahu, and then he says the following, and I'm going to kind of quote my own translation of the words of the Rambam. The prophet is not content with the idea that the most sublime goal is to attain knowledge of Hashem. For if this were his purpose, he would just say, let him boast in this, that he understands and knows me, and stop there. But rather, he doesn't stop there. Rather, he added another important matter and said that the actions that one must know and emulate are to practice kindness, justice, and righteousness on the earth. So we see that the greatness of a person in which he can truly boast is one who came to knowledge of Hashem as much as he can and knows his providence over his creatures, and his actions were the same as that knowledge, actions of kindness, justice, and righteousness, following Hashem's ways, in the way we have clarified several times in this book. This is how the Rambam understands Parashat Tzav. This is how the Rambam understands the prophecy of Yirmiyahu, which is the haftarah of Parashat Tzav. Shabbat Shalom.